Hello, everyone. Welcome to the network. Welcome to the Two Dads edition.
Wait, that's not it.
Start again. What's up, fat fucker?
Two Dads, Gen X edition. That's a great beginning.
Hey, welcome to Two Dads Gen X edition. Today we are going to talk about embarrassing stories, girls and dating. So, embarrassing stories with a female.
Embarrassing stories with a female.
One of the two genders in the world.
Yeah. So mine comes from 1995.
Nothing since?
What?
Nothing since?
What?
You only had one since
I don't know what started.
1995?
Well, I've been married for years.
They're still girls.
Yeah, that's true. No, this is the one that came to mind. So there I was.
Oh, no, yes. Your pants came down, your bush was too big, she couldn't see it.
No, but my pants were down. So we'll get there. No, I was in gym class. Okay. You know, the end of the semester test where you have to run the mile. And as long as you made improvement, you get an A or whatever. So we're running around the baseball field.
So would it benefit you to run slow at the beginning of the year?
Yes, actually.
So what do you get?
Yeah.
So, kids aren't that smart to go,
No, they're not.
if I run really bad, at the end of the year, I can
Right.
really just jog and I'll succeed.
No, so we're in the middle of the run and I had to shit.
Yeah.
And not like, oh, I got to go shit later. No, I had to go.
Like I just did.
Yeah, kind of like what you did just a few minutes ago.
It smells so bad, too.
I must be sick. I can't spell it.
I have the fan on.
Yeah. So I stopped where the
Let him.
where the gym coach is. I'm like, Coach, I got to go to the bathroom really bad. And they're like, we're not stopping the clock. Do you really have to go that bad? And I said, yeah, I really got to go that bad. He goes, okay, clock's going to keep running. I was like, okay. And I ran to the locker room, I don't know if I've not been in a high school locker room for many, 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 many years now. So I don't know if they still don't have doors on the stalls, but they certainly didn't have doors on the stalls.
Now they have doors on the urinals.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. No, so we didn't have doors on the stalls. So, sitting there, drop trowel, all that kind of stuff, leaning forward, elbows are on my knees, just sitting, doing my
I
stuff.
like doing the thinker.
I was doing the thinker. I was absolutely doing the thinker.
Bend over, shin wristing on my
So from the gym inside, there's a double door, but for privacy, whatever, I guess. There's a double door going into the guy's locker room, and so I hear the outer door, so somebody's coming in. I'm like, all right, cool. Next door opens up, and it's kid named Aaron. I'm like, hey, Aaron. He looks over, and he goes, hey, James.
Oh, you're shitting with the door. No door.
There's no door there. Right behind him comes one of the cutest girls in the grade. I think her name was Nancy. and she was like cheerleader, pom-pom, all that kind of stuff. And so when he's like, oh, hey, James, she looks over and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, shorts are at my knees because you get a blocked a view from anybody in the locker room, but shorts are at the knees, and I'm just like sitting there and there's this hot, cute girl, and I'm sitting down on the toilet taking a shit.
Did you fart at that moment?
No, I did not, thankfully. That would have been worse.
Hey, Nancy.
Yeah. And she like rushes out the other way. I wasn't done, so it took a few more, couple more minutes. I go out there, and she's like standing around, whatever, and I thought I'd be I was hoping it would like reduce some of the embarrassment, and I was like, so was it as good for you as it was for you? So she laughed, but awkwardly, and that was my embarrassing story.
Is that it? You haven't had anything since 95?
No, not really.
Not even one?
Not that comes to mind. Probably, mentally blocked it.
Most of mine are like sex related. Not in a bad way.
Well, I've not been with as many women as you have.
No, thanks. Let's not throw that out there in the universe. Thanks.
I got a lower body count, sorry.
I mean, it's not like I'm Barney Stinson.
No, that's yeah.
I mean, close cousin.
No, but I mean, like total years of marriage. I'd been married for 20 years. Total. Both marriages. Actually, 21. 21. The divorce was, first time started at about 14 years, but it finished a year later. So
what'd you like most embarrassing, like asking a girl out?
there was I got swerved. Yeah, when you go in for a kiss and she's like,
Oh God, dodge, dodge, duck. Yeah.
so it was a girl. She was really cute. I thought she liked me too that way, and we were like walking. She like gone horseback riding. Her family had like some land or something like that, and so we met up and we were talking and stuff like that, and it was all good. And I was just went in for it, and then she just like
No.
and I was like, I gotta go.
And you play it off like, oh, you got something on your collar.
No, I was not that smooth. I was not that smooth.
I've been like, dude, why you leave face? I was trying to kiss you. What the fuck?
I wasn't that bold either.
Yeah, oh my God.
All right, man, your turn.
I'm like, which one should I tell? Yeah. Oh man, I think the funniest like couples one I had was like when when you're in high school you kind of date in groups.
Yeah.
So like one of your friends starts dating a girl and suddenly you all start dating their friends and stuff, right? And we used to ride our bikes like God. I mean, from 103rd and Lackman to Johnson Drive and K7. So we're
So people who don't know it's like
area miles,
10 miles, okay.
ish. On your bikes, but it's all like country, back road, highway. We did this every freaking day in the summer, because Brandon wanted to get laid. But they made and the rest of us were still on first base. Well, actually, we were trying to figure out what a base looked like. Honestly, we're like, I think this is what I'm doing. No, I mean, you're like slapping two nipples together, blah, 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 kind of thing. And the girl's like, no, that doesn't feel good. So we used to like to go to the basement, you're all hanging out and doing stuff, and me and my girlfriend Kelly were in the back, and Brennan and Amy were in the back, and we're all in the same room, right? And we're making out, me and Amy, me and Kelly, and Brennan and his girlfriend are doing some stuff, and suddenly Brennan's like, "Oh man, I got shit," and I'm like, "I'll go with you." We're going there, and he's like, "Oh man,
Why would you want to go with him in that moment?
Well, it was one of those we need to talk kind of things.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't like he actually had to poop.
I mean, I was going to say it because if you're in the middle of making out with your girlfriend and your buddy's like, dude, I got a shit. And you're like, oh, come with me.
I'll go. Spare square. So you'll go out there. And I guess they hadn't done it yet. And so the probability of it happening was high. And
okay.
So, of course, he's like, man, you got a condom. I'm like, dude, no, man, I don't do that yet.
How old were you?
I think 15.
15?
Yeah, actually, I don't have cars yet.
That makes sense. Riding bikes.
14, 15. Yeah, so we're just talking. He's like, man, cool. And I guess their plan was to do it right there in that room with us in the room too, apparently. Because he's like asking for that. I'm like, I don't have that. Well, while we were talking, the girls decided to get up and change spots.
Oh, no. Were they trying to trick you guys?
No, they just got up and were talking. And then when we came back in, they just sat down. Well, Amy went where Kelly was and Kelly went where Amy was. So I go back to my spot and Kelly was pretty flat-chested.
Is this like
Amy was not.
A lit room? Not
No,
a lit room?
complete black.
Oh.
Darkness. Kind of.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we're going and close the door and we just go to where we thought our girlfriends were and poor Kelly, because Brandon just went for it, starts taking her pants off and we had, like I said, just were trying to figure out first base, and not there. I actually knew, but I was being respectful, and I just hear like I'm like literally making out with Amy, and I'm like, man, she's like, what the hell? Where did this come from? This is like she's not kissing like she normally does and everything, and I go down and like to fill her boobs, and they're like 6 times bigger. And I'm like,
oops,
but also enjoying it. And I'm like, and then suddenly I hear Kelly go, hey, Dawson, I really don't want to have sex. And like,
and from across the room, you're like, all right.
Amy and I are like, both like stop mid kiss. And she pulls away and she goes, Dawson? I go, yep. And she's like, oh my God. And gets up and Kelly's freaking out. And Brandon gets up and turns the lights on. He's fucking butt naked. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Did you get just undressed as you walked in the room? And Kelly's like, oh my God. And so like she broke up with me that night. Kelly did.
Well, that's probably justified.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, it was just so embarrassing. It was just like, but he just sat there with his dick out. He's like, all right, you guys leaving? They closed the door and they did their own thing, but it was pretty funny. It was like one of those never be in the same room unless you tend to share, apparently.
Yeah.
So that was kind of awkward and kind of funny, but it was just like in my head.
Stupid things we do as teenagers.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I remember like when I was dating in high school, I never dated anybody from my same school because I just hated drama. I didn't like the bullshit. And so, but I have, multiple people always asked me out. And my mom was like, you should never say no to a girl, because you never know. They might grow up to be the most beautiful woman outside of high school, which I found to be very true.
Oh, yeah.
Very true. So any young listeners, please ignore some of our conversation. But understand, just be respectful to everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember this girl we went and, she was cute, but just not my type at all. And but, we went to get ice cream and whatnot. And we get back to the date and it's like 12 degrees. It's cold. And we're sitting there and she's doing the stall, wait for the kiss, outside the door. And it's like 11:58, so midnight's your curfew. And she just like kind of does what you like you went in for the kiss and then kind of swerve and I do the whole kind of lean away and kind of open the door and I'm like, well, you're, it's getting close to midnight. You really should go inside. And she's like, okay, but and like leans in again. And I'm like pushing the door open and kind of pushing her out of the way. And she tries like 3 more times. And I'm like, you got your keys? Can I unlock the door for you? Like,
were you aware that she was trying?
Oh yeah, totally.
You're just trying to avoid it.
Yeah, because it's like I'm not interested. I'm not gonna kiss you. I'm not gonna be that guy. Kind of thing. And
that was very magnanimous of you.
Finally, her dad opens the door and he goes, "Honey, he doesn't want to kiss you. Get in the fucking house."
That'd be so.
And she's just like mortified. And he goes in.
I bet.
She goes inside and he looks at me and then smiles really big and then like winks. And then shuts the door and I'm like, was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? I don't know what the heck.
That was probably a good thing.
Oh, yeah. That was.
As a dad of daughters, that's a good thing.
I was just like, oh my gosh, completely mortified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are just kind of the weird stories. I had, our friends, we used to do like come up with cool dates in high school. And I think this is why girls actually wanted to date me because we would always do fun, random shit. At the time, Walmart security wore yellow shirts, like polo shirts. So we all went and bought yellow polo shirts and we'd play tag in Walmart. and kids don't do this. And I mean, we'd play for hours hiding in the rack.
And if you see this when we get caught and get in trouble, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it's because you did it and we didn't do it.
FAFO.
And it was just amazing because you'd have like employees come up and like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to catch a shoplifter. They ducked and dodged me. And you take off running. We'd do that. And like we had one Christmas, we played tag in a Christmas tree lot.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. Really bad. Running fast through pine trees.
The pine tree.
Hurts like a motherfucker.
The type of tree, yeah.
But it was fun. But anyway, we had one day where we went to Goodwill and you had to pick your date's clothes.
Nice.
And mine decided to get 3 sizes too small. And so I'm wearing this tight lapel jacket, and I wasn't fat. I mean, I was about how I am now.
Okay.
A little belly sticking out.
Hey, dad bods are in, right?
And my, supposedly, and the pants.
Oh, they're not knocking down my door.
It was, God, I'm trying to think what movie it was where you could see the Franken beans through the pants because the pants were so tight. It was just
a couple of them.
Balls hanging out, basically, in these stretchy green line pants. And the plan was you go and pass out bubble gum at the plaza with these outfits on. Well, we had more people thinking we were like Jehovah's Witnesses, like not interested in religion. We're like, I'm not even wearing the robe. What are you talking about? You know what?
No, we're not Hare Krishna.
It was just funny, but we ultimately all got arrested for disturbing
Indecent exposure.
disturbing the people. My moms weren't actually out; they were just really tight. And then we all got arrested. I didn't go on our record or anything, but like they basically got us in the cop car and then drove us home to our parents. And it just my mom's face went.
When you stepped,
She was like, "What did you do?" And I'm wearing this outfit. She's like, "Did you steal the little kid's outfit?" I'm like, "No." Well, what are you in trouble for? And he's like, "Handing out gum at the plaza." And my mom's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
It's like, seriously? And he goes, "Really, I just kind of did it for their safety because, people were starting to get annoyed and frustrated." But it always those great days. But like getting to the funny story that I thought was funny. So, Ridgeview at the time, no, Renner, used to just be this long road, and they had these islands with fountains and all this really cool shit, and just decorative stuff.
Yeah.
And so I asked a girl if she wanted to go on a date with me on an island, and she's like, "Hell yeah, this is cool. Yeah, what were we thinking?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like I'll pick you up Friday," and it's like Tuesday. Well, she went and bought 2 swimsuits, a cute sundress, flip.
She thought you were going to take her, like, fly her to some Caribbean island or something like that. How old were you?
17. Yeah.
So she was a couple sandwiches short of a picnic.
Yeah, I mean that's what the plan was a picnic. So she was coming up with the sandwiches. Well, and so I have friends that like, I had a friend pick her up and bring her to this little street island with a fountain, and she gets out with a suitcase.
Wow.
And comes walking. She's like, "What's going on?" And I'm sitting there in my little suit and have a table, and I'm like, "Oh, we're having dinner on an island." And she's like, "You son of a bitch. I spent so much money." I go, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I have my suitcase here. I got swimsuits and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Well, we can put the swimsuit on if you want. We can eat right here." She's like, "Fuck you. I hate you." And like, I had my friends up. So I was sitting there eating this dinner. So I had my friends, like, actually we got Olive Garden, and they would walk it out. And my friends still served me on an island by myself. And I wish we had video back then, but I just sat there eating my Olive Garden by myself on an island.
Her loss.
So I learned to be a little more specific when I tell girls.
One of the funnest dates that I went on was in college, my first year of college, that I promptly flunked out of. But
The date or the college?
no, the date actually was really cool. It was great. No, I borrowed it. I learned how to ride a motorcycle out there, and a buddy of mine had this little single cylinder Yamaha or whatever. It was like 200 cc's or whatever.
Yeah.
Picked the girl up on the motorcycle. It was like late fall, early winter, so it was cold, and it was below freezing.
Nice.
Yeah. And so we went to a local grocery store, and we bought Oreos and gummy bears and shoe polish.
Shoe polish.
Yep.
I'm like, my brain's like racing. Like, okay, what are we doing with shoe polish?
And so she didn't. I had her
do blackface. Did you?
No. I've never done that. And so we put the supplies in the backpack. She wore the backpack on the back of the motorcycle, and we drove to parking lots on campus and decorated cars, like Just Married or Just Divorced or whatever. And we would lick the gummy bears and stick them on the glass because they freeze. You have to wait until spring to get it off completely. Otherwise, you can actually break the window.
And like, kids, try this. They're not responsible.
Don't do that. Learn from my mistake. And then we would use the shoe polish, and we'd write all kinds of stuff and cover up the windows, just random cars. And at this one parking lot next to some dorms, all of a sudden we hear this, "Hey, what are you doing to my car?" And we're like, "Oh crap!" We jump on the motorcycle. We drove across the sidewalks on campus to get to the other side of campus really quick. But that was, we spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours just out decorating cars. It was great. So much fun.
Vandalism.
Totally. Well, it was only on the glass. We didn't do any paint or anything like that. So it was all stuff that you could wash off. But no, that was a lot of fun though. She's pretty cute though.
That's funny. I think the best, like, I don't want to say vandalism date, but like prank wise, we went to Lawrence and took K-State stickers and put them all on. All like went through the whole parking lot just putting a K-State, little small K-State heads on their license plates.
That's hilarious.
And for the next 3-4 years, I would see people driving around with one little K-State sticker in the corner of their license plate. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. But we were hardcore because we actually had lacquer too. So you put the sticker on and you put lacquer over it.
Oh, geez.
They couldn't take it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool. No, and I was in my last duty station in the Army was at Fort Gordon, Georgia. And the Army-Navy game that happened that year where the Navy just beat the pants off Army.
Yeah.
Monday morning, you went on base and all of the big old signs at the main gates, because it was a training base, and so there were Navy personnel training, and so somebody had taken like toilet paper and they did a little loop on the F for Fort Gordon, so it was Port Gordon. Yeah, we got reports that the base commander was pissed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, fun stuff like that. What was the easiest, like, if a dating experience where it was just the easiest dating experience you've ever had?
Honestly, I've gone, most of my dates were like taskful, hard. It was just, I'm pretty laid back, try to make it memorable, unique, most of the time.
I mean, like, not like a date, but like somebody that you dated, whether the relationship it didn't even have to last very long, but like it was just easy.
Oh, I'd definitely say who I'm dating now. I mean, like it's just so fluently awesome.
Yeah.
Just easy. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say a little expectation, but a lot of it is just we're just happy to be together, and do things together. And
yeah,
if one of us decides we don't really want to go do that, they're like, okay, cool, let's just stay here, and I mean, shit, we build Legos together, and it's like in unison, like we're both engineers, and I'm looking at one page, she's looking at the second page, and we're just like,
yeah,
going back and forth, and it's great. It's like, and she's one person that I definitely, never want to disappoint in a way that, she's like, hey, I think I might go to the gym. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, totally. Let's go. And kind of thing. And I go do my thing and she does hers. And, there's times she's working out a lot longer than I want to. And I do a total bottle workout. The next day I'm regretting it. But yeah, I mean, it's been easy. It's not, I have not once in the whole time we've been together, like questioned anything.
Yeah.
Never like, oh, I hope she doesn't want to do this. Just, you get in your head.
Is that how you used, like, all the relationships of the past have been like that, where you, like, question yourself?
Oh, yeah. I totally question, will she actually want to do this? Is she actually having fun? Is she, humoring me? And then a lot of times it came to fruition that they were, there was resentment thrown back that they're like, how dare you make me go to Comic-Con, that kind of thing. It's like, right, fucking make you want to go, if you want to go. Yeah, I think that, this one's, everybody says, yeah, when you first start together, it's real easy, but this is different. Really is different. Like,
she's going to hear this and get, like, her hopes way up.
I know. No, it's just, it is. It's like just so smooth and easy. And I think and it wasn't expected. They always say when you stop looking for love, you'll find it. And it was it. And she made the first move. She, was super confident and and I was like, yeah, let's try it, and it's been easy since, and I love it. And yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm love bombing.
Yeah. No love bombing. I think mine was back in high school because and you actually know her. We just kind of started dating. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I was driving her, or no, she was driving me home or something like that because I didn't have a car at that point. And like we were like laughing about something. She just reached over and held my hand. We dated for like 2 months. And then like at the end of the 2 months, the reason we stopped dating is because she was like, hey, I'm, going out with so-and-so. And I was like, oh, he's a great guy. Yeah. I think you'll have a lot of fun. And I just started dating somebody else. And it was like, it wasn't like this big anticipation buildup to start the relationship. And it wasn't this bad, broken, whatever, end the relationship. It was just like, we liked each other, hung out, did stuff together. made out, whatever, and then we just went our separate ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a couple of those where you date somebody. It's like, I dated one girl. It was like 3-4 months. Just when it was convenient kind of thing. We'd go out, do stuff, had a lot of fun. It just, the stars never really aligned to actually really fully date. And same thing. She's like, hey, I just wanted to know that I'm starting to date somebody. And I was like, all right, yeah, man, go. Because I think we saw each other like once every 2 weeks, maybe, kind of thing. And because we were so far apart. And so when she said she met somebody, I'm like, yeah, go for it, man. And they got married and they're doing great. They have 3 kids and they're happy. Like, I'm not going to get in your way.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck, Chuck.
Yes.
Good luck, Dawson.
I do feel like I'm a good luck, Chuck. I actually have a lot of people that have gotten married after dating me, and they probably realized, shit, this is all that's out there. I'm going back to him.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I think one of my tests of time with dating a woman is, do you like breweries and wineries, and do you enjoy just sitting? That's like the biggest gauge for me is, can we sit somewhere and just hang out and talk?
Yeah.
It's like, do we always have to be doing an activity? And I love it. I mean, there's something to going to a place and just hanging out and just talking.
Sure.
And that's what I fucking love, man. I just love getting to know people and knowing who they are, where they grew up, the different cultures. I've dated a vast, I want to say vast, sounds like a whore, but a wide variety of ethnic people, and I've enjoyed every moment of it, like learning their culture and where they're from and who they are, and accepting. And I just wish the world was more like that. It's like, it's okay to know fucking different. It's okay for people not to think like you or have your same views. And
yeah,
and that's what I loved. And there's just so many people, man. I dated one girl. She started off with, are you Republican or Democrat? I go, I'm an independent. Oh, so you can't pick a side? I go, why do I need to pick a side?
Yeah.
And,
yeah. I think I probably would have walked out of that one.
And she got so confrontational, so much so the guys behind us, one kind of went over to the booth.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, dude, you're a fucking cunt. I mean, the dude's like pretty neutral, and you're like mocking him for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, who are you to judge? And they started getting a fight. And then literally by the end of the night, they were making out.
Wait, what?
Yes. I was like, it was weird.
So she was making out with another guy on your date?
Yeah. We pretty much ended our date, and she went to hang out with him. And they ended up making out, and I just kind of laughed. I'm like, I go, that was a good move.
I just, honestly, I think I just don't understand women. I think I just need to have like my kids or my friends pick for me instead of trying to pick.
I got this great one for you.
Yeah.
600 pounds.
But I don't even know if like right now. So I've actually like, I'm not even dating. I don't know what date right now.
Well, you're still in that recover phase, post-divorce.
But it's post-second divorce where it's like, fuck it, I don't want to do anything.
Oh, I mean, do you think, okay, so when the therapist and you, I mean, there is probably a trauma-based of it. It's like, I failed again. You got to get out of the negative self-talk.
Sure.
I failed again. You did mention it in our last podcast that it's like, it was just so bad. I just rather be alone and not have to deal with it anymore. And that's what's sad about right now is in the generation now. And I don't think women understand how brutal they are to men in a bar, that you could have the one nice guy that comes up to you and say,
women don't want a nice guy.
well, I'm just a good, genuine guy that comes up and probably say, hey, I find you really beautiful. Do you want to talk for a little bit? And they're like, oh my God, creep, go away. But they're fine with the guy that walks up like, hey man, you want to fuck tonight? Like,
well, he's like you were just talking about that date.
great.
You ended the date and she was making out with the guy that called her a cunt.
Yeah. Yeah, because basically mocked her, so she proved her to him that she wasn't, and that's how it worked. And it's sad that works that way, but the thing is these kids don't care. They don't care about finding a relationship. They don't just like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want and do it how I want to do it, and that's been programmed over the last 20 years that the family unit is pointless and you don't need it.
Yeah.
And so there's people that won't get married because divorce is so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry, divorce does not have to be bad. I mean, you can go to the courthouse in Kansas, pay $45. They'll file it all for you. A judge sees you're divorced.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need a fucking lawyer. Now, when you have kids, you just had to present a property parent. Well, you present a parenting agreement, and if the parenting agreement isn't planned, then you can just have a mediator divvy up your shit.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lawyer. And so the people that choose to have a lawyer and choose to spend a shit ton of money on lawyers are the ones that are so butthurt that their relationship that broke up, that they don't want to take responsibility for what they did to help fail a relationship. They want to prove that they were the ones that were right. And it's just stupid because you don't,
Yeah,
if you don't have kids, just fine, walk away.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Just tired.
I know there's no humor in that, man.
No, there's no. I'm just tired of being tired.
Well, and dating
Getting too old for this shit.
I mean, it's hard because it's like they use filters, they lie,
Dude, I don't know, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So I've started up a couple dating apps and then I shut them down the next day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because when you get your the first profile picture, and then you go through and looking at some of the other pictures, obviously filtered. Most people are.
Oh yeah.
It's like you'll go through. Then there's like one that's an actual real picture.
Yeah, I always ask for like a non-filtered picture.
Yeah, I started. If it was filtered, if it obviously looked filtered, just swipe left.
Oh, mine was if they have nothing about themselves, they're just hot.
Yeah.
They're good looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, so you're literally depending on your looks.
Yep.
And you're probably boring as fuck. And and if I did talk to them, I want to know their banter. I want to know if they can banter through text. Because if you can banter through text, then usually 1-to-1 is even more fun, kind of thing. I think I only had a couple of examples where great bantering through text, super competent in person, they're dead silent.
Yeah.
Dragging the conversation on. I'm like, was someone actually talking for you during this? Because you are not matching at all what I thought you were like.
Well, like I said, I started a couple of the dating apps, and after going through and stuff, I don't know.
Oh, is your
shut them down?
Right? Have you gone on many dates on the apps?
No.
My favorite was I had a lot of weird ones, but my favorite was I had this gal, just talking about how great she is, how powerful she is, how high up in the company she is, how she didn't need a man, and it was like man bashing. And I'm just like, okay, cool, good job. I mean, that's awesome that you're able to, achieve those things. That's cool. Why haven't you found somebody? What are you looking for in a guy? And
yeah, why haven't you found somebody after listening to all this man back?
And as like kind of like, hey, let's see if I can Aristotle you and help you understand something. And it was interesting because she's like, I never could find a man that could keep up with me. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
No, she never could find a guy that wanted to keep up with her.
And I'll take your answer. That was what her honest answer. And I'm like, okay, cool. I go, where you want to meet for lunch? And she's like, oh, Panera, because it's right by my office and I don't want to go too far from my office. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. So you get to Panera, and in my opinion, you go to Panera, you're buying your own meal because you're standing in your own line, you're doing your thing.
Sure.
And so I get there and she gets there and there's a long line and we're talking and, I'm asking about her work and, what she does. And then she's like, she sees a shorter line. So she just walks through that line. And I stay in this one because I'm like, I'm already here. That's fine. I'm not going to cut. And so she's over there. She's ordering. Then she turns around and looks at me. And I wave. And she rolls her eyes and then pays for her food. Because I hear from the time that I've talked to her that I don't need a man. I don't need him to provide for anything. I don't need anything from you. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. Yeah, go buy your food. You said the best. This is a meet and greet, and generally a meet and greet. You pay your, I'll pay mine.
Sure.
Because I'm here to get to know you, not buy you. And so I order mine and we sit down and she goes, I already know this isn't gonna work. I'm like, oh yeah. I go, why is that? And she's like, because you didn't follow me to the line and pay for my stuff. And I literally laughed, just like you did. And I go, I thought you were independent and you didn't need a man. And you were showing me that.
Yeah.
And that's what I assumed you were doing, is you were cutting line in front of other people that had been here longer, and you were asserting yourself and you didn't need a man.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe this was turning into a friendship lunch. So yeah, so that ended quickly.
You didn't go on another day with her? You didn't...
No, but I'd never had anybody text me so much trying to prove that she was not wrong. I mean, it was like months. I finally ended up blocking her because it was like,
Wow.
because it was like hateful stuff, like trying to talk down to me. I'm like, you don't even know me.
No.
And I was just like,
See, that's the kind of stuff, though, it does not bode well for wanting to date.
oh, I know. And honestly, I actually didn't date for like probably 2-3 months after her, because I was just like, dude, if they're all like this,
Right?
it's horrible. And I kind of learned early on that Tinder is a meal app for women that can afford to eat. And actually, that was proven from the girl in New Jersey that got arrested because she literally didn't pay for a meal for 4 years, because she would double date, do 2 dates a day, and have the man pay for it. And then she bragged about it, trying to start up a social thing. And then they had a class action lawsuit. All 400 men. It's like 400 plus men got together and did a class action lawsuit to have her have to pay them back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then I learned Bumble are usually women that have pretty good careers, but are newly divorced, newly separated, and need a man to make them feel happy again.
Okay.
And I say that joke like in jest.
Yeah.
They don't, but their self-esteem is so low. And I've been there, like self-esteem shot. So you go in there, you want to meet somebody to make you feel good.
Sure.
You know, it's not just 2 women, you know, but since I'm a man dating women, I can only say women.
Right.
And it was weird. That's where the good luck Chuck started coming in, where I would literally date somebody and they'd have like I'm bragging. They had a good experience, you know, but then we'd figure out, oh, this isn't going to work because, you know, kid thing or whatever. And we'd separate, but then they would meet their next partner and get married. And it's just kind of weird because it's like, I'm just me, and it's just that. But the one I really liked was Hinged. And,
Really?
Yeah, Hinged I liked it. You have to pay a membership, so you don't have as many one-offers
Right.
on there. But I liked how it had quips and sayings and like gadgets and things that like you have a picture and you have like fun little quotes and things, and so you really could get to know somebody. So you could tell if the person actually really was trying to find someone to date with how much effort they put in making their profile and making it playful and fun. So like
Sure.
most women,
Do you have to pay for all that stuff to make the profile?
no, I think it was like $69.99 for 6 months or something like that.
No stuff.
And so I found that it was a lot easier to engage. So I'm the kind of person that like, I'll look at your profile, see if we have something in common in the pictures or your little bio or whatnot. If there's funny things about it, that's what I like point out. Like, oh, I really love that Marvel shirt you had on. I'm a Marvel into. I don't like basically get the ball rolling. Not like, hey, you're cute.
Yeah.
Hi. You know, it's
Or
stupid shit.
send a dick pic.
No, I got a funny story for that. So, not me though.
Some girl sent you one?
Yes. But yeah, so it was kind of one of those things where you're just like, yeah. And then I had met really good people on that. Like, and then just, you find out, okay, we're not compatible, or your goals are not aligned with my goals. And so, it was very cordial. And anytime I broke off anything, I would always say, it's like, I'd always be honest, like, hey, you're great, you're really nice, I think
It's me.
you're gonna find someone, but I don't feel like your goals match my goals, or you want kids, I don't want kids, or things like that, and you'd break it off. And I'll tell you, girls, if any women are listening to this, I don't know. Just be honest. If you're breaking up with a guy,
Yeah.
don't do this ghosting bullshit. Don't do that crap. Just say, I found somebody else. Like, if you're talking to two
Well, yeah.
guys, just be
really-
honest.
I'm just not interested in you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like,
Most of us can handle it just fine.
yeah.
Unless they're douchebags, you know.
Well, if they're a douchebag, then it just proves that you're right. Kind of thing. And I had women that were kind of bad too, and I'm like, whoo, dodge that bullet.
Well, and like one of the things that I think I'm not, I don't know what's the word. I think one of the problems that I have is that because of like my morals and stuff like that, I'm not trying to sleep with women, you know. I'm not trying to just go and sleep around or anything like that. And so it's like most people, that's kind of an expectation after a couple of dates.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, and I'll tell you women, don't put no hookups because that means you like to hook up.
Interesting. Okay.
I've every girl that I've ever dated that put no hookups, they tried to hook up
Really?
every time.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like it's almost intimidating. Where it's like,
Not every guy wants to hook up. Some of us actually want to meet someone to
Yeah.
grow old with.
if I'm going to start dating, and like I said, I've said before, I have no plans of getting married again. But I wouldn't mind being in a relationship. I wouldn't mind having somebody that I can go on trips with and have fun with and hang out with, go to games with, whatever. But
It's called a mail order bride.
no, I don't make that much money.
You got cheap ones.
No, I don't make that much money.
You might have to have the lights off all the time. But
Right? No, but like, yeah, it's just because I'm not one of those guys. That's what I'm trying to do. A lot of women I think expect that at some point. I'm not going to do that.
No, I don't. I don't think a lot of them expect it. I think you get in a phase in your life that traditional dating is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, wait till the 6th day, then do it, if you're going to do it. But a lot of it is just, I think it's really hard when you date someone for a while and you break up and you have that void of that close person and you're like, okay, I don't need all this other drama. I just want that other person. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But when you find it, it's awesome. Like, like I said, I've found it and I'm so glad I don't have to date anymore and I'm dating the person I want to be with and I really like a lot. And
I'm happy for you. You suck.
yeah, I know. Getting old and dying. No, but so I had a coworker.
Okay.
And Tinder was pretty new. And she was a respiratory therapist and a flight attendant. So she'd work 3 days as a flight attendant and 3 days as a respiratory therapist. I think maybe 2 days. But she made so much money as a flight attendant, and the gig of traveling to different cities was so good, she didn't want to give it up.
Right.
And so she started dating on Tinder because it was still pretty new. Well, apparently there was a gay website in Switzerland that for every dick pic you posted, you got $1. You see where this is going? So she would use the plane Wi-Fi as they're flying across the country and other countries
Yeah.
and just literally just swipe right. And she said she would average like 500 a city.
Wow.
And then she would just mass like, hey, I only date if you have a big dick. Or she said it in a way that they would voluntarily send her a dick pic.
Right.
And it was funny. She did this for years before the website got shut down. And
Talk about a side hustle.
I remember that when it got shut down and probably about 3 months later, she was like, fuck, I'm going to have to work overtime. I'm going to have to do all this stuff. I'm like, why? And she's like, because I lost my cash grab. And I go, what, the dick thing? She goes, yeah. I go, are you kidding me making that much money? She's like, no, I actually did the math and I was making $25,000 to $30,000 the 2 years that I did this. I'm like, you posted over 60,000 dick pics? And she goes, yeah, tell them I changed the coloring black and white. So I kind of reposted a couple. I go, did you ever get in trouble? She's like, no, man, they just shut it down and basically
They lost money.
the app was gone. So it's like, holy crap. But yeah, it was like it was basically a dating app for gay men. Yeah, Europe. But it also, they were trying to launch kind of a porn site too. And our dick pics came in. And what they got shut down because I think they had underage people on it.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, it was probably like the most brilliant thing ever. And I asked her, I go, how often? And
smart.
And that's what I kept popping in her mind because she's like, "God, dude, like seriously," I'll be like, "Hey, how are you?" And then a dick pic pops up, and I'm like, maybe it's because I'm average and I, don't care, but you got to be special to see mine.
Yeah,
somewhat. I mean, at least a drink. Okay. But yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah,
how that works and how the dating. I think the dating app thing has actually ruined women. And I think the dating app and that totally agree. She's like
modern feminism and the Keeping Up with Kardashian those kind of reality shows have ruined.
Yeah, I mean, I think
expectation.
Yeah, the expectation of stuff. I mean, there's a kid. I love him. He's a young kid that goes through New York asking hard questions like, why is Trump racist? Can you name one thing? And of course, they never can, or they come up with what CNN told them to tell them.
Right.
But then he started asking girls, like I literally just lost my train of thought. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
No.
Oh, no. Okay. So I remembered it. She would ask him, like, what should a man make for to marry you? And he's asking 20-year-olds this, and all of them are like, 300,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
And
he needs to have a Learjet.
And he finally met one girl that she's like, oh, I don't care as long as we're happy. And
I saw that one.
And her friend's like, what do you mean? It's like, your boyfriend works at, like, I think she said Walmart stocking shelves. It's like, it's a good job. He works hard.
Yeah.
And he spends all his money on us.
That's the unicorn, because she was a cute girl, too.
Yeah. And she was gorgeous. And it was like, she's just like, he takes care of me, and one day I'll take care of him. And I was like, oh, my God, that's so disgusting. You need to break up with him. And I'm like, and the dude goes, wow. Like, you're literally telling her to dump her man because he's,
because he works hard and tries to provide. Yeah.
I'm just like, wow. Little does she know that Walmart now is paying their like district managers like $300,000-$500,000. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, they're great once you get past the entry level. Yeah. Once you get to like store manager and above, they pay really, really well.
Yeah.
But it's
should have gone that route.
When our
this nursing sure should
like a master's degree for being a therapist that I make pennies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's like, you got to, college for 4 or 5 years, rack up $300,000, and you can go to Costco and stock shelves for $30 an hour now. So it's like, I graduate making less.
Well, and then like skewed, minimum wage is supposed to be $15 an hour in Missouri by next year or something like that.
A lot of companies are going to close.
Well, so you go from what, $10, $12 an hour to $15 an hour. That's a 30% increase, right?
Well, and a lot of people are paying more than
does my rate per session go up 30%?
Should.
It won't.
No, it won't.
No, in fact, I mean, we just had an increase and it went up. I mean, it went up a little bit, but that's for people who pay cash. I take mostly clients that have insurance, and insurance doesn't go.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I know, right?
We're still talking about dating.
Dating.
So be respectful, be kind, understand that everyone's struggling to date, and just remember that.
Yeah. Amen. All right, brother.
Love you. Stay classy, Kansas City.
Remember to like and subscribe for future content and alerts for when we drop a new episode on Tuesdays.
And visit our website to become an exclusive member where you can get behind-the-scenes content and discounts on merch.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our topic today. Remember, this is for our entertainment purposes, but we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Please, Sarah, please,
we're begging you. Please, we're begging.
Hey, join us next time when we talk about grocery store shopping, which is so exciting.
I love inflation.
It's so entertaining, seriously.